Mwah! Welcome, all my beautiful souls. I hope you've had a really great few days since I last spoke to you. It's always so exciting being invited back into your home and into your heart, I hope, also. Today, I want to talk about the Hypno Slim program and the gastric sleeve operation. Okay, a lot of people ask me, do I do the gastric lap banding hypnotherapy sessions? And yes, I used to, and I still can, but to be honest with you, I prefer not to. And I have my reasons, and I'm going to explain them all to you in a moment. I've been doing the weight loss through hypnotherapy now for quite a few years, and I've had a lot of success with it. And over the past year, I have been doing the gastric sleeve operation through hypnotherapy. And as far as we know, that Hypnoworxs is the only hypnotherapy group in Australia and anywhere that I can find actually through Google. And if you do find someone, let me know, that's doing the gastric sleeve operation. For the people who don't know about the gastric sleeve operation, what it's all about is that what happens is that you go into hospital and you have an operation, and this operation is made to sound like it's really, really simple, okay? But I'm going to tell you it's not. What they do is that they put you under and they put some incisions around the stomach area, and they put an apparatus inside the stomach, and then they cut two-thirds of your stomach out, and then they burn it all. I actually had a nurse in one of my workshops who said that she is actually one of the nurses that assist during this surgery, and she said the smell of the burning flesh is like once is just awful. And in fact, I will tell you something, during the actual hypnotherapy session on the when we did the gastric sleeve operation, she actually came out vomiting. That's how much it affected her mind. It's interesting, the mind, because it also goes in like with all your senses and your thoughts and your feelings, and it reacts quite, sometimes quite strongly. Like for her, that memory of the operation actually triggered the smell, and she came through vomiting. This doesn't happen to everybody, by the way. But they make it sound really easy, and what they do is they cut two-thirds of the stomach and then they pull it out. There's actually a video on YouTube that you can go in and have a look at it. And it's all made to look very, very simple. I had a very dear friend who was, excuse me, morbidly obese, a size 32, beautiful soul. And she made the decision to have this actual operation. This was prior to me being able to offer it through hypnotherapy. And she went and got it done. And she became, shall I say, very, very sick for months and months and months and months. In fact, she actually died on the table, and they had to recover her. And they didn't tell her at the time exactly what happened. And then they took her back in for another operation, and they said to her that something hadn't joined properly or something. But what it was is she became quite septic, and she was sick for, she was a single woman on her own, and she had to take nearly 3 months off work. So, I got to thinking. I was at the time doing the lap banding and was quite successful. And what I didn't like about the lap band, and I'm going to be really, really honest now, is, you put this clamp on the stomach. So that's the size of your stomach, okay? That's it. That's the size of your stomach, and that's all the food that can go down there. Now, I've had, during the time of my practice, I've had a lot of people who have actually had the physical operation come and see me because of the psychological effects it has left them. It's caused a lot of problems. I had a gentleman come to me once who said that, since his wife had had the operation, their whole marriage had fallen apart. She was started to isolate herself. She didn't eat with the family. She didn't go out to meals with him. And eventually, she even moved out of the bedroom. She just totally shut herself down, and it was quite sad, really, because he he said to me, you know, I love my wife and I want her back. Is there anything you can do for her? So I did some hypnotherapy with her to overcome this total isolation of having to eat on her own and being on her own. You know, food that they used to enjoy together, they could no longer enjoy, you know. And the other thing that concerned me too, what I found, because you can only eat like this amount of food, that meant that not a lot of nutrients were going into the body. And that was pretty scary, because I had some clients come in and I could see that even though they had lost a lot of dress sizes, they didn't look healthy to me. And that really concerned me, because the two things that I want from my people is for them to be healthy and happy. So, you know, I got to thinking, and I'm thinking, you know, how can people lose weight and be able to still enjoy going out to dinner and enjoying good, healthy food? So I started to think, well, when the stomach, because your stomach's about the size of, sorry, I'll just put you around about your fist, okay? So when you remove that and you've still got like half, say half a stomach or quarter of a stomach still there, that means that you can still eat the food off a bread and butter plate, the size of a bread and butter plate, okay? So not the first 4 months, not the first 4 weeks. I'll have to say that the first 4 weeks is mainly liquid. So I've got one of my clients who, and she's just done so well. Like, she's now down to a size 14. She came to me last June, and I'm actually going to do a video conference with her, because I'd really like you girls to get to, and guys, get to meet Lynette. She's just a doll. She's done so well. She's gone from like a size 22, 24 down to 14. And in fact, she rang me the other day and said, oh, Caroline, guess what's happened? I actually accidentally bought a pair of size 12 pants. And she was so excited. Accidentally? I think that's fantastic. So, yeah. So what she does is, her and her husband go out to dinner every Thursday night, but they only order one plate of food and they share. So he's happy. He's saving his money and he's getting to go out with his wife, which is really wonderful. So yeah, she's just learned, like when she goes out with her sisters, she'll still buy a tiny little cake, but they share it, you know, so she still gets that little bit of bite and still enjoys, because you know what? Look, I'm not here to restrict your life. I'm here to enhance your life. That's what this is all about. That's what the HypnoSlim program is about. I don't want you to never ever have another piece of cake again when you go out and have a cup of tea or coffee with a friend or your family member or whatever. I want you to still be able to have that little bit, you know, and not feel guilty and enjoy. Food should not be your enemy, okay? You shouldn't be your enemy. Remember to love yourself unconditionally. It's very important. So what we do, I'm going to explain the whole program to you, okay? What we do is this. You come in, and in the program you have a week and 1.5 hours with me. And we sit and we go through your timeline and your sabotaging beliefs, and I find your core belief, and we go through all the foods that you don't want to eat and the foods that you do want to eat. And you know, sometimes it's not even about food. Sometimes it can be that you need to talk about a family member that's really pushing down a lot of emotion, and you're feeding yourself with a lot of food to block that emotion, you know, those sabotaging beliefs and all those triggers. So we spend 1.5 hours together the first session. Normally a week later, you come back. And, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, in that first 1.5 hours, we also do a hypnotherapy in that session to start to shift those belief systems and that, you know. And then the second week that you come, we spend 1 hour. And in that hour, we will look at what's happened in the last week. Are you eating smaller amounts of food? Do you still have any cravings? Has something come up? Has an emotion come up that needs to be dealt with? Do you know, I've had clients that I've had to go way back to when they were 3 years old, 2 years old, to heal that situation for them so they can move forward in their adult life. Sometimes that takes more than 2 sessions, by the way. And if that happens, well, that's what's got to happen. You've got to feel it to heal it, and we've got to release. So what happens then, after we've had that another hour together, then we meet again, normally the week later, and we do another 1.5 hour session. So again, we do quite a bit of talking, maybe about half an hour, 40 minutes, just depends what's going on in your life. And we go through what's happened the last few weeks. Do you love yourself more unconditionally, remember? We work on all those sort of things. And then we do, under hypnotherapy, the actual gastric sleeve mind operation. And that takes about 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, and I'll tell you one thing, I've never lost a client yet. And it's really interesting, all the difference. Some people have pain in their stomach, some people feel nothing, some people just feel really, really tired. Whatever it is, that's what you are meant to feel, okay? Never ever judge yourself to somebody else, because you are unique, okay? So then you go home, and then for the next 4 weeks, we do suggest, we're not nutritionists, we just make suggestions. It's totally up to you. You've got to understand that in your mind you have lost 2/3 of your stomach. You've been through a major operation, so you don't put solid food in your stomach. We actually recommend, well, we don't recommend, sorry, we suggest, because I've done a lot of research, ISO-weight product we find is really good. It's got probiotics, it's got so much goodness in it. And they also, on their website, they have a recipe books, and they're really supportive. Like, I find them to be really, really supportive. But that's your choice. You might decide to go with somebody else. That's okay. Remember, I said we just suggest. And then for 2 weeks, we suggest that you just drink your protein shakes, and if you are hungry in between, you can have a piece of fruit or something like that. Oh, excuse me, talking too much. My favorite thing is to talk. I like listening too, don't worry. Okay, so then what you do is, then on the 3rd week, then you start to introduce food. You then have one small meal, and then on the 4th week, 2 meals, 1 protein drink. Now, what I have found with a lot of my clients is, even months down the track, they still like to have that protein shake for breakfast, which is a good idea, because a lot of them are really busy women, and to just make sure you've got that goodness in your body at the start of the day is so important. That is really, really important, that first meal of the day. And so many people that come to me do not eat breakfast. So, okay, that's what we suggest. Now, during the whole process, we also have what's called the Hypno Slim program. And that's around about 15 hours of hypnotherapy. And they're all on an MP3 file. So when you join, either if you join the Hypno Slim Gastric Sleeve program, or if you just want to do the Hypno Slim program, you buy and download the files off our website. And over the next coming weeks, I'm going to go through all those files with you and discuss them, because they're run over 3 weeks. You listen to, I think it's 7 or 8 files for 1 week, and then there's week 2, and then there's week 3. And in that time, we're also dealing with ego strengthening, loving you, dealing with anxiety. It's not just about the weight. And I've been saying that since day one. It's not just about the weight. Okay, it's about building you up, working from the inside out. Okay, so that's what the Hypno Slim program's about. Now, if you can't get to see me to do the actual operation, you can join the Hypno Slim program. I've had clients that have lost 3 to 6 kilos in a couple of weeks just on listening to the Hypno Slim program. And the beautiful thing about it is that you don't need any extra time during the day. You put it on while you sleep. Okay, you can put your headsets on, or if you don't have a partner next to you, you can have your speakers on, and it just absorbs while you're sleeping. The conscious mind is asleep. And your subconscious mind, guess what? It never, ever sleeps. It's awake 24/7. And all that information is going really deep inside. You know, it took me a year nearly to put that together. And I'll tell you what, it is worth every single cent. Okay? So I'm hoping that you guys will look at getting the Hypno Slim program. because it will be really nice as we're going through the blog and you're going through my journey, that when I'm talking to you about stuff, you'll be there with me. And then you might even write me an email and go, you know what, I'd love to put this on the blog of my story. Welcome. Love anybody that would love to join us on this beautiful weight loss journey. You're more than welcome to, okay? But you've got to be part of the Hypno Slim Gastric Sleeve or the Gastric Sleeve Operation. Just to mention that if you're not living in Brisbane or Gold Coast, if there's enough people, if you can gather enough people together, I'm quite happy to come to Melbourne, Sydney, Gladstone, Townsville, Western Australia, wherever, as long as you can get a minimum of 10 people together, I'll be more than happy to be there. Okay? All right. So, everything is done through the mind. The mind is so powerful. Yeah. Okay, I'm off. I've got lots to do, as you have got lots to do. And I will see you, my darling, soon. Bye.